Hey Daniela,
Hey Jan.
really nice to see you.
Thanks.
Let's talk about you. Recently decided to retire. I would like to know where you started and what your first fond memory of triathlon was, or is.
Wow. So you mean where I started triathlon?
Where you started it, what's your first memory? When you think of triathlon and you think of your beginnings, where did the spark start for you?
Yeah, I think it was at my first triathlon. That was in close to Biel, Nidau, youth triathlon, and it was the national championship. I got second
In your first triathlon?
in my first triathlon, and I was in a swim club and I was running in the athletics, so I knew the two disciplines, but the bike was just pretty much first time I was on it. And yeah, I think it's the atmosphere that caught me, being around the lake, that vibe. I just really liked it, and of course I'd definitely say like it got me hungry to do better. Mm-hmm. I could see like, wow, that's something I'm good at, and I wanted to keep doing it.
So you had a little bit of success, and from the success you developed your passion.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think finding something you're good at is very, very satisfying. Mm-hmm. And for me, yeah, it was a little bit like the passion was for the sport, but also I really enjoyed pursuing that greatness, I would say. Like I didn't start great, but I just loved getting better and always found something else to improve. And for example, in the beginning, it was just to be able to keep up with my best friend who was 3 years older than me. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to get as good as them so I could be in their squad and go to Basel on the weekend to be hanging out with them.
Yeah.
So that was my first motivation, just to get as good as my best friend. And didn't take that long, and then I found a new goal. She still blames me now. She said it's very hard for her because I caught up so fast. But yeah, we're actually still best friends. So
wow.
It's really nice to also see that sport you can find lifetime friends. And yeah, I'm the godmom of her son, and we still hang out. So yeah, it's really nice.
Friendships, lots of people you met over the years. You've had all the highs. You've also had some lows. What is the one thing that you think makes you your quality? What's your biggest quality that you bring to the sport? Now, it's your athletic ability. Is it your ability to find joy or to learn, or what do you think is your biggest strength?
I think being able to go really deep, dig really deep. Okay. And for me, like when I didn't achieve something, I wanted to do it better next time. So any time when I felt like I failed, it gave me fire to do better. And I think, yeah, in our sport you have to keep working hard. It's better than me or same as me, and yeah, like it's this. How do you say? Like when you get set back, you have to have that drive to go again. And sometimes I didn't really understand why. Like I was in Australia and sick for like a year, having that stomach bug and couldn't really get out of bed, and I still kept going. And maybe not being able to give up helped me to also survive a lot of really tough moments.
So, I mean, is it fair to say that you being sick for a year was actually somehow the catalyst for your, let's call it second career, your long distance career? What really got you to be great?
Yes, absolutely. I think what I changed there was I realized, okay, I don't know if I can do that sport anymore for a job, because I was really struggling. And my first thing what I did is I found a study, started going back to university. Mm-hmm. And I think that was, so this action really helped me then to find back the balance for life. It was, yeah, I can go very extreme in one side, but for my mental health, it's always better to have like a bit of a balance. And I think studying helped me a lot because I found friends again. Like I was around friends during the day who were just so different from what I was doing when I was training in Australia, where it's all about triathlon.
Yeah.
And for me, that was really helpful to have a little bit of a normal life again and have that balance. And from there, I found a lot of passion again because, yeah, like if you're sick for a year, you kind of lose a bit the passion for it. And still, yeah, I think that's where it all started, where I realized, okay, I still want to do it. And I think that's it's a very important point where you realize, okay, no, I want to still be a triathlete.
Yeah.
Because sitting at the desk for 8 hours, I realized very fast that this is not really what I'm good at. So yeah, and that's when I went back to training and also doing going into long course, and that was the path of I would say a new career.
And just to clarify, you started studying nutrition, right? There was something...
Food science and management.
Food science and management.
So it's all about the food industry. So it includes as well marketing, packaging, logistics, the business model of the food industry, the chains, the food chains from the farmers, how it's getting from the farmers, the products or the, like the beans until the supermarket. Okay. So the whole chain. And yeah, I was very passionate about that study. I really loved it. And I mean, I can say after, I think I was professional for like 6 years, going back to chemistry and physics was not easy. And also mathematics, oh my God, it was really hard. I had to work hard, but I think that really helped me I could train in the morning, at lunch, and also in the evening. Yeah. It was a very busy time. Like I think because I was so fulfilled and balanced, I could do it. Yeah. But it was a very busy life. My day was planned from pretty much 6 in the morning until 10 in the evening. Yeah. And just timed it all. But yeah, I'm glad I did that. I think it is a big passion, and also, yeah, it's good to have a study in the pocket.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, talking mathematics, physics, the sport changed over the years, right? It's kind of like, it feels like nowadays everything's measured. You go to the wind tunnel, there's all kinds of, just so much more involved of a process. What's your perspective on how the sport has changed from when you started until now?
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing how it changed. From 10 years ago, where I choose to race in a top and pants in Kona, thinking that's cooler, like in terms of cooling, than having a race suit. Then a year later, I had a race suit but got a full sunburn. I mean, it just shows now with having the race suits fully aerodynamically improved. It's with the wind tunnel testing. I did a YouTube video about it, and I saved 40 watts in the last 7 years. And I think in the last probably 7 years, I didn't really improve so much anymore as an athlete, but I definitely could still improve on the material side. And I think we see, like, from 2014 being second in Kona with a 9:02 to now Anne almost breaking the 8 hours in the long distance world record. It just shows how everything increased and how the performance just went up another level.
Yeah, and did you change any of that in your training as well? Because you were probably, from what I know, a little bit more old school, right? You did training a lot by feel on maybe heart rate and time, but you didn't go into the whole rabbit hole of measuring this and doing this test and going all these crazy things, right? Take us a little bit down the way you work to get the best out of yourself.
Yeah, I think I definitely had phases where I also thought like, would it help me to do all the lactate testing and getting all these data. But for me, I think also from a personal aspect, it helped me to still feel free.
Okay.
Because going out there for a ride, I kind of know my body, and I feel like every athlete who trains a lot starts to get to know their body. And for me, heart rate was always very important. With the heart rate, I could tell very easily if I was tired, which level I'm in, or which zone I'm in. And so basically, I just focused on heart rate and feel. And racing, until my last race, I would never use anything, no heart rate, no speed, and no watts. And if you lose, or the first races would have always been a little bit hard, because of course back then in the races where I dominated, it's easy to just go by yourself and just do your feel. But if you're tactically surrounded by others, it can sometimes be, I felt like it was getting harder, but still I think for me it was the right thing to do. And I think having repetitive training, so we would have a lot of weekly repetition. Yeah. So just key sessions, which I used to do once a week or once every 2 weeks. With the same fatigue level, you kind of also know where you're at. And I have my loop, Julia Albula, and I just know, like, if I have a certain time, and if I do it 3 times because the wind can change, then I know my level, and that's kind of how I measured if I was ready.
Okay, tell me you're a triathlete without telling me you're a triathlete. Repetition works. But I think it's so fascinating because people hold on to so many things, so many external factors with all the technology out there, and forget the relevance of feel, right? Because we're not machines. Triathlon is very much often described as, you being a machine and locking yourself in a sauna and having a really tough time. But there is a human element in there that I think you showed earlier than many others, if you look close enough, because you are like the angry bird. Where does that come from? What's up with the angry bird? Tell us, please. Like, you're one of the happiest people I know.
Thank you. It's true. Like, I think angry bird is more like my race face, and I could also say, like, when you put the eye of the tiger on, you're just going that zone and you're ready to kill, and that's always how I pretty much raced. I could never be friends with my closest competition. I always liked them, but I just also knew if I liked them too much, it would be hard to wanting to beat them.
Kill them.
Yes. So I think that was really my character, how I could get out there. I mean, how it started, it was from Brett, because I was apparently making this concentrated angry face when I was working hard in the pool.
Okay.
And that's where he first started calling me like that. Then I think it's once I'm in my zone, and there I don't really play around. There I would still say I can be a killer, and I think that's what I could live out in the sport. I definitely enjoyed to be dominant. That started to get harder towards the end, it's nice if you feel under control. I think that's more maybe accurate to say, like, feeling under control in the race or controlling the race. Okay. And that's something that's also why I race like that. Going out hard and trying to, I kind of had to, because my bike was my kind of weapon, but I also feel like, just going for it and really setting a statement that sometimes I felt like people didn't beat me because they were afraid, and that was definitely in my favor for a few races.
Yeah, of course.
They're not afraid anymore now. So in general, I'm a nice person. I think
because too many people know that you're actually. The thing is, it seems like it's a bit of a mask, right? It's a mask that you put on, and it allows you to live out another part of yourself. I wonder, what do you do with that mask now that you've decided to step away? Are you going to be able to live it out somewhere else? Are you going to be, or does it just go on the cupboard and it's a nice memory?
That's a good question. I think one part of that Angry Bird kind of what is fulfilled. So I do feel triathlon also helped me to just, realizing that I can be happy also, and like full-time happy. And I definitely feel in a better place now than when I started the sport, which is really nice. It feels like a happy end for me. And so that's maybe, definitely think I need to find something where I'm passionate about, because I do like to live for a purpose, or to strive for something, and I'll find somewhere else. But I find it somewhere else, I believe. But also, I think part of me, it might be age, it might be just outliving that Angry Bird for so long that I feel like I can also put it aside and be more relaxed. Because I think I also definitely have two sides, I can say that. And for a long time when I was an athlete, I could not really live out the relaxed person so much.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say I had to sacrifice, but I definitely had to put that one side of me, of like the how do you call it, genießer?
The enjoyment,
the person who likes to enjoy. This had to definitely at certain times be put down a little bit and on hold. And I feel like I can lift that up more now, definitely. So I
guess it comes back to you can have everything, just not at the same time.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that. So before we put the Angry Bird in the cupboard, tell me what, it's a classic question, but if you have to choose a moment, good or bad, in terms of what people would think successful or not successful, that's your favorite moment that you say, okay, this is my one race, or even part of a race that you say gives me goosebumps. Like this I want to tell the next generation about.
Yeah, there's so many amazing moments through the career that it's hard to pick, but maybe I'll pick a moment where that also was a start of the change, and I think that was the win in Seoul. I think you went there too, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So winning there, it was, I would say short course distance was not maybe where I was built the best for. Definitely felt like it was coming easier for me in the long distance, and winning that race with having the best of the best there is still like a moment where I feel so much, I feel really proud.
Yeah.
And having that high of, I think there I just realized, wow, I can beat the Olympic champion, because Emma was there, and that was, for me, it was really big. And the day after, jump on a plane, vomiting for 11 hours on the way home, and then get sick for 1.5 years. And so, it just shows how close everything is in the sport. And for me, it was, a tough journey, but it also guided me to go to study and then go to long course. And I think that was kind of that turning point for me, where I then started to realize, okay, I need to do something else. And that's where I would call it second career starts in the long course.
I love it. Turning points, and again, I agree, the highs and the lows, they're so incredibly connected. Which brings me towards the end, and you saying you're full-time happy now. That was one thing that really stuck with me. It's like full-time professional soul crusher to full-time happy.
Yeah.
And finding passion, or as we earlier said, finding something you're good at and developing the passion you have any idea of where the journey might next take you? Are you keeping all your options open? Have you got any idea where we can see you in a year or in 5 years from now?
Yeah, of course, I have ideas and I have also projects and plans going, but I definitely want to take myself also the time to really find that passion and that it feels it's the right thing. I think one mission is helping people to be active and healthy is definitely something I want to do. And that can be done in different ways, and that's what I'm going to figure out in the next few months.
All right. We'll see you podcasting. No, just joking. All right, Daniela, thank you very, very much. It's always nice talking to you and getting some insights. I think thank you also as a fan of the sport for what you've given all of us. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's next.
Thank you. It's nice sharing some memories with you.
Indeed.